What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and while drawing against the top team in the league is not the worst result, especially when you consider the fact that we're missing a few players, it's not the worst result. The way it happened is probably why I feel so frustrated. It's not a loss. It's a draw. We keep the unbeaten streak going. That's great. It is against NYCFC, which is a difficult game, and on top of that, they're getting a couple of their best players back. So it's not like it was a terrible result or a terrible game, but because we went up twice and because we then conceded, both times we went up, it kind of feels a bit like a loss. That late equalizer, make it 2-2. It's so frustrating. But let's look at this game overall. First of all, talk about the referees. Man, I hate MLS referees. First of all, once again, NYCFC showing that they just lack class in the way that they play. Very frustrated with the diving, the terrible challenges going in, just all of the little petty stuff. I really want to call them New York sissy, just because that's the way they played last year. Watching David Villa flop all over the field, watching Morales flop over the field, and then watching some of their players go in and just clean our players out. And it takes like 3 of those. Oh, now it's a yellow. David Villa went into 2 yellow card challenges, no cards at all. And that's frustrating because it's like the referees are just like, oh, but it's David Villa. I don't want to card him for that. It's a yellow card challenge. Number 30, I don't even remember his name. He goes into a yellow card challenge on Nagby. Play goes on, and then goes and cleans somebody else out like 30 seconds later. That should be yellow there, you're off. But instead, it's like, oh, I'll give you yellow for that one, but I'll completely let go of the one where you were gonna, completely stop the breakaway. That should be a yellow, and then the crunching challenge you put on somebody else, that should be a yellow. And then there was another one. I think he flew in and straight up, not elbow, but cleaned out Barco. It was like a tackle the way he went into him. Nothing there, not even a foul. And it's frustrating when the little things like that happen. As far as the penalty is concerned, I had a very good view of it. It looked like a penalty. My frustration was more with the way we conceded the penalty. The way that we gave the ball away and then players didn't track back well enough. The goal that was disallowed for offsides, I really want to see it again. Everybody was saying, oh yeah, definitely offsides. I know Martinez was near the keeper, but I feel like the rule needs to be looked at because frankly, I don't think the keeper's getting there even if Martinez isn't there. And I feel like in situations like that, there should be this understood rule where, okay, yes, he was obstructing the keeper. Yes, he was in offsides position. However, the keeper's not getting there anyway. So why? I don't know. It's one of those things where by the letter of the law, yes, he is offsides. But in the spirit of the game, it probably should be a goal because it would have been anyway, even if Martinez wasn't there. He didn't obstruct him that much. So little frustrations like that, but really mainly frustrated with the way the game was being called. All the little dives being called, and then some of the challenges should have been punished harsher or should have been called and weren't. I don't know. It just feels like it starts to sort of flow towards the away side whenever I'm watching these games. And I don't know if that's because they just hear the crowd booing and they're just like, well, I'll show them, and start calling all these stupid fouls and not calling others. If that's the case, then don't let your emotions control the game because you should be a professional. But I don't know. It's just how I feel. On to individuals. First of all, Guzan, did well. Made a few good saves. I will say, I'm trying to think back to the second goal. Second goal, not much he could do. Off the bottom side of the crossbar, it was a good shot. I was more frustrated with, once again, the way that it led up to that shot. But aside from that, not much he could do for most of this game. The one thing I will criticize Brad on is distribution today was terrible. Too many balls out of bounds, not enough finding their target. He gave away the ball twice. Not good enough as far as I'm concerned because he's been pretty good with distribution. This was not one of his distribution games. It was terrible to watch. As far as the defense is concerned, Gonzalez Perez comes back and better than I have seen him in the past few games where he's been involved. Obviously no stupid challenges, nothing ridiculous, but still not doing well defensively. In my opinion, the penalty was partially down to him just because he's in a position where he's not aware of the guy getting in behind him. And so when we lose it, he's not ready for it. And so the ball gets dropped in behind, and somehow Michael is the one having to do the tracking back, and he's not. And of course, it was Michael's sliding challenge that led to the penalty. But in my opinion, Gonzalez Perez should be the one tracking that man and should also get back quick enough to stop him. But he's not, for some reason. He's not aware of him, he's not tracking him, then somehow he's not fast enough to catch up to him. I don't understand that. So I'm a bit frustrated with him on that. And then on top of that, he also was like 3 steps behind Michael, which led to the second goal, because Michael stepped up to try to play David Villa offsides, and then Gonzalez Perez doesn't step up, and that leaves him still onside. So really frustrated that is the situation that leads to the second goal. So those 2 mistakes are frustrating, but there were some more positive signs from Gonzalez Perez tonight, just because. I mean, I've seen him in the past few games going into dumb challenges that he had no right to. In this one, he did a lot better to control his emotions, control his temper, control his challenges as well, because there were a couple good sliding challenges where he did well to clear it or he did well to win the ball. So he definitely played better, but there's still those problems. There's still those mistakes that, in my opinion, need to be fixed if he wants to be our main man back there. Michael in the middle, obviously another great performance from him. The penalty is honestly the only real blemish, in my opinion, that he had on this game. The rest of it, he did so well. And I feel bad for him just because I feel like we deserve to win for him, just because he works so hard. He does well defensively. He does well to read the game. And, I mean, just the times he steps in, the times he wins the ball, looking up, picking up his head, finding the right passes, he does all of it so well, and I love to have a player like that on my team. The first goal that we got, it mainly comes from him. And like last week, how our first goal came from him. Good step in, win it, good layoff to Miguel. This game, Chris gives the ball away. It's 1-on-1. He does well to keep forcing him wide until Jeff can force that guy to make a mistake. Michael picks it up, takes it away, finds the ball in behind, and that eventually leads to the goal. It all starts from him winning the ball. It all starts from him and Jeff working together to keep that 1-on-1 situation from turning into a goal. And in my opinion, having a defender like that is fantastic. On to Chris on that play. It was one of the few mistakes he made. I think he did well overall. Defensively, he's doing well. He's winning the ball in the air very well too. Only real problem I'm having with him is sometimes he does dwell on the ball a little too long. I feel like he needs to play a bit quicker. But aside from that, I thought defensively is the main part of it where he did well. Getting the goal kind of helps cement the fact that he should be playing, which is nice because he's done very well back there. So I'm glad that he does get the goal and sort of helps stake a case for saying, hey, keep me in the back 3. We got Greg and Julian playing the left and right. First of all, Greg returning after, I think he had an injury last week. I think that's what it was. He did okay. Nothing really special. The one big problem, which was a problem last year, distribution in the final third's got to get better. The crosses are still overhit. They're not really finding targets, so I am still frustrated that he's not doing well there because that is something that we need. But aside from that, defensively he works hard. He does keep the ball moving really well. The quick 1-2 play is probably one of his strengths. But, yeah, we do need somebody who can cross the ball from that side to get in. Julian on the right side, in my opinion, kind of a return to last season, honestly. Bad giveaways, fumbling over the ball sometimes. It felt like he was put under a lot more pressure. There are a couple of things I don't think he's entirely to blame for his performance. There were a couple things that I do think led to that. First of all, not having Tito. It can really hurt whenever you're used to having somebody to use as an outlet. It can hurt whenever you take him out of the team. Because one of the things that Julian does very well is kind of picking up the ball and then trying to find the ball down the line to Tito. Because he's always making that run. We didn't have that tonight. We only had 2 up top. They weren't always making runs. So that can be difficult whenever the game you usually play, which is pick it up, send it down the line, that can hurt whenever that's not happening. But also, I do think because he was put under more pressure, I think New York City did plan for that. They planned to have somebody step to him to make sure he didn't have time and space to play. They also stepped to, like when the ball's on the other side of the field, normally he's in a ton of space out there. But New York City did well to step to the player on the ball to make sure they didn't have the time to turn and try to find him out wide to let him have the space to run. So I do think his game was nullified tonight. One of the things he's done very well is finding the ball in space and then finding a pass. When you put him under pressure, he's not the same player. He's not as good. He's losing the ball more easily. He's strong enough to hold on to it, but a lot of the time his touch is what fails him when he's put under high press. So that really hurt us tonight. He's been that outlet that we've needed whenever we're under a lot of pressure. Getting the ball across to him, finding that space, getting the ball in behind from him, that has been a big part of our season so far. And I think not having Tito and then the fact that New York City did well to keep us under pressure, I do think that hurt his game. So not a great game for him. Into the middle, Jeff and Darlington. Jeff, obviously, same old Jeff Larentowicz. He's one of my favorite players for a reason. His consistency, the strong challenges, the pressure he puts on in the midfield is fantastic. Darlington, in my opinion, once again, another good game from him. He's been consistently solid in there. The quick turns, the ability to hold on possession in the middle of the field, the finding the passes to the wings. He looks so good in there, and I just don't understand why at the national team level they continue to try him as a wing. He's a midfielder, and he's proving it here in Atlanta. So I love having him in there. He's very good at connecting the play, finding the passes to connect it, and just holding up possession, very quick feet to get out of pressure. So love having him in there. Kevin kind of played more as like the third midfielder, like he dropped in defensively, didn't really play up very much. I do think that hurt us just because we didn't have a whole lot going forward. So tactically, I don't know if that was the best decision, but he did do well defensively. One of the things you could tell he was instructed to do was make sure Morales didn't have time to play. He did that. He made sure anytime Morales was on the ball, boom, stepping in, putting him under pressure, making him either play backwards or making him dribble into more pressure. So I thought Kevin played well. It's just because we're so used to just getting up and attacking. I wish he had played a little bit higher. I wish we could have used him more as an outlet just because we needed to get out of our defensive third sometimes. We tried to drop too deep, and that hurt us for a lot of the game. So that would be my only complaint there, but that's not even him. That's more just the tactics we employed tonight. Then looking at Miguel and Joseph, Miguel played well, did look productive whenever he got on the ball, tried to find the open spaces, tried to work the ball around. There were some times where he did get into kind of that selfish mood, which can hurt us just because he's a very creative player, but he's creative when he picks up the ball, beats somebody, and then finds a pass. Where he starts to hurt us is whenever he picks up the ball, beats somebody else, dribbles into pressure, and then loses it. That's where it really hurts us because whenever we lose it and everybody's making the runs for him, now we've lost it, they're counterattacking on us and we're not prepared. And that created some of New York's best chances, in my opinion. When we lost the ball, we gave it away. And Miguel's not always the one doing that, but I do think it hurts us when he gets in that mood because those giveaways are what led to their best chances tonight. And then, of course, Joseph is the last one in the starting lineup, and my lord, he should have been substituted. In the first half, he didn't really provide much of anything. He's just up there. He got offsides a couple times. But, he was in that mood tonight. You could tell he was in that mood tonight. He's walking back, which put him offside several times. He's not really trying for balls that go up top. We dump the ball, trying to find him, hoping he can put pressure on the defense and let Miguel run him behind. He's not doing anything. He's not moving. He's not going to the ball. Romario Williams should have been on in the 55th minute. I think there was one point where we had won the ball back. Great play, great defensive work. Sent the ball up to him, and he's offsides. And it was the second time within 5 minutes. In my opinion, at that point, that's when Tata should have looked at it and said, okay, he's not here tonight. Mentally, he's done. Get Romario Williams in. But unfortunately, he didn't. Oh, the game ended, and it's a draw. I wonder how that could have happened. It couldn't be because we have a striker not trying. I get frustrated when Joseph gets in this mood. I get so frustrated because watching him is frustrating. Watching a player that doesn't want to work, that doesn't want to put in the effort, is frustrating to me because it's not going to come easy. Not every game is going to be easy for you. You got to put in the effort if you want to win. And I guarantee you Romario would have done it. I guarantee you he would have gone on the field and put in as much effort as he can and probably create a few chances for us. But no, we don't make the sub, and that is something I'll talk about at the end. I do want to talk about Barco real quick because he comes on for his first MLS appearance, subbed on for Kevin. I do think that was a bit of a mistake just because we were doing well defensively up until that point. Switching back to the formation we have means that we do lose that one defensive player in the midfield, and at that point they just started coming at us relentlessly. And Barco really didn't do much to hold on to possession. He's kind of a selfish player. He likes to dribble, and then he'll lose possession. So I don't know. He did a few creative things here and there, but he didn't really do anything that impressed me. But anyway, on to the last thing I do want to talk about, the tactics from Tata. This is what it was like last year sometimes. We're looking for an equalizer. We're looking for a winning goal. And instead of making changes, it's like he doesn't want to. It's like he doesn't want to change anything. He wants to keep it how it is. And it's like watching a ship that's about to run into an iceberg, and the captain's just like, nope, we're going to miss that iceberg by that much. I can guarantee you that. I can see it. I think we're gonna miss it by that much. And then they run into the iceberg. That's how it felt. I'm watching as New York City's constantly coming at us. I'm like, we need to make a change. We need to do something differently. We need to bring on a player that's going to affect the game. And then he brings on Ezekiel, and that just, it doesn't really change anything. It makes us a little bit less defensive, which is not what we want. And sure enough, the goal happens a few minutes after that. So I feel like he really didn't do much tonight, Tata. He didn't really provide anything for us. He didn't provide a change that affected the game. He didn't provide that substitution. Let's make a change. We used one sub tonight, and in my opinion, that's not good enough. If we want to be the best team in the league, the best team on our side, the best team overall, we have to make changes. We have to make substitutions to change the game, whether it's being more defensive or being more attacking. To not use two subs, in my opinion, shows that he's either unwilling to make the changes or he doesn't trust the players coming off the bench, and that's not good. If you don't trust the players coming off the bench, there's a problem. And Romario showed last game he can do it. He got a good goal, and he works hard every game he goes on. When Joseph's not working, I don't care how good he is. I don't care if he's your number one striker. If he's not working, if he's tuned out, if his head's not in the game, you got to get him off the field, and you got to get in a striker who's going to work, who's going to provide more up top for us. So I am frustrated just because I feel like the game was there for the taking. We should have won this game, but we didn't. So that's just my frustration there. So, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. Future Atlanta United reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.